Welcome back to the podcast. We've gone a little more than a week, which we don't like to do that. But I was out of town. We were kind of slacking.
Where were you?
I was in Disney, but I was down there for the Salt Strong thing. But
Sure you were. I saw pictures of you at Magic Kingdom or something.
we did hit up Disney a little bit, of course. You know,
Well, you got to. If you're in Orlando, why not?
Have to do that. If you're new to the podcast, I thought about this today, Brad. We should probably introduce ourselves from time to time because just in case
That's
by
true.
chance
We don't ever do that.
somebody happens upon this podcast and they're like, "What's going
Who
on?"
are these random people?
My name's Matthew Isbell.
Yep.
Got
My
a
name is
channel.
Brad Warren.
Brad Warren. I got a channel, Bam Beach Bum. You got a channel on YouTube.
Yep.
You got a channel, Bearded Brad.
Brad.
We're of course on Facebook and Instagram under those same names. We're currently in our podcast booth, which is in our retail location,
Yep.
Beach Bum Outdoors, here in Gulf Shores. We got several things going on. Of course, this is our podcast, Fishing, Not Catching.
Yes.
We do a lot of things and more things coming down the pike.
Yes.
I used to always think it was down the pipe. I think it's down the pike. Isn't that the correct?
Down the pike?
Look it up. I think it's pike. I don't really know
No
why.
way it's down the pike.
Look it up. I don't think it's pipe. I think.
How
it's
do you
pipe.
search that?
I don't know.
Coming down the pipe?
Yeah, expressions. I don't know. I mean, I think people say down the pipe.
Okay. Coming down the pike or pipe? It's a question when you type it in.
Oh yeah. What's the answer?
Coming down the pike is the original and correct version of the phrase. I mean, that makes sense because, like, the turnpike or whatever, like the road coming down the pike.
Is that what it's referencing?
Well, there's a picture of a pipe and a street.
Okay. Oh, that's good.
I've always thought it was coming down the pipe,
you learned something new.
like a toilet.
We are
Right down the pipe.
We are extremely educational on this podcast.
I've learned something new today.
Coming down the pike.
We're only like
P-I-K-E.
5 minutes in. Already learned.
Not
something.
even. But it's good to be back. Check us out. We've both been kind of in a funk lately. We were talking about that.
I have been. Yeah.
Just for me, like I've got a lot of things kind of going on right now, but I feel like all of the things that I have going on, I'm just getting my butt kicked right now. Like, and I think that's entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
I think if you're trying to make your own way, it's just a constant. Alex Hermosi talks about this, and I'm just there right now. I'm just like, I feel like I'm just getting my ASS kicked day in, day out.
I feel you there.
Like in every way.
A lot of mine has just been just like, so I bought the bigger boat last year, and like coming into this year, my goal was like, all I want to do is focus on offshore and try to grow a new audience and see what that does with my channel. And obviously,
And you've been getting your butt kicked.
it's all weather dependent. And so there's just been not a whole lot of days to go offshore fishing.
It has been like we get bad winds in the spring, which I guess technically we're still in spring, right? Like summer's not official until like June 21st. Is that right?
We're getting close.
But we have had some serious bad.
Yeah.
We got a signature winds for a long time. Yeah, we got a
Top or
signature.
bottom?
Do you want it on the outside
Is it that same gent we met
or on that?
Up here?
on the top? Nice. You gonna sign it too, Nikki?
I already did. Already offered. He said
No thanks. We're good.
He said,
Like,
"Who
we're on
are
it.
you again?
Yeah,
we
you should
don't
be
know
like,
who you are.
kind of a big deal. Kind of a big deal.
Get out of my space.
We did get some ice. We did get some ice, and we got some Woodford.
Would you like
If
some?
you-
Glasses.
Are you a bourbon drinker?
No, I wished I were. But
Yeah.
anyways, we went to Scotland and drank scotch all across the country. I was convinced I was going to come back a scotch lover.
You can come to this is Nikki. We were introducing ourselves a
Yeah.
minute ago. This is Nikki.
in there? She making it a friend?
She's our president. We may have her on the
Yeah.
podcast next
Yeah.
week, so be on the lookout for that.
Thank you. Okay, enjoy your bourbon.
Well,
Well, yeah, so
winds have been bad.
wind has
Yeah.
sucked, and so like
It's been abnormal, like just a lot.
yeah, and obviously I didn't do a ton of offshore fishing before. Like I've offshore fished kind of a little bit since I've moved here, but never like had my own boat where I could go more often. So I don't have any like back data. Really, it's like if I got invited, I was like, yeah, I'm going.
Sure.
So I don't really have any previous experience of like this month's are bad or whatever. And I was just like, I just want to do offshore fishing. And so coming into this year, it's just like been terrible weather, and I've had no motivation to go beach fishing. Those videos haven't been doing well. Like everybody and their mom is making beach fishing videos.
It's easily accessible.
And so I've had no motivation to go make those videos. Gulf Shores Pier's down, and so I can't go make those pier videos. So the only pier videos are like an hour and a half drive or more.
It's a hassle.
And so it's like, I don't know. I've just been like, bleh.
Yeah. No, it's been tough. I would say though, what should be encouraging is usually we get a lot of pretty slick, calm days in the summer. Now, obviously, this year is already off to kind of a bad start, but I think you'll have some shots to do a lot of cool stuff this summer. So
we'll be fine. It's just
the spring and fall, like summer and fall. You know, I think you'll have a lot of cool opportunities to get offshore and do what you want to do.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. I got a trip planned to South Florida. My buddy Chris, which you know, me and him, and then his son and my oldest son Kelton, the four of us, and I think Chris's dad is coming too. But we're gonna go stay down in Naples for a week. So do a little
now, when
trip.
is that? I was looking at my phone.
Like middle of June.
Okay, so like soon.
Yeah, a couple weeks.
Okay, nice.
So go do a South Florida trip with Kelton. It'll be Kelton's first time going on a fishing trip, which it'll be interesting.
I thought now he's been to the Keys with you before, right?
Yeah. Like with the family.
Okay.
Never with just me on like a strictly business.
So this
fishing
is
trip.
okay. All right.
Because down in the Keys, like Courtney's always been there. So if I went and fished, he could stay home.
Stayed,
but
yeah.
Now it's like you don't have a choice. You're going fishing.
So speaking of all the
interesting.
bad weather and Kelton, you guys did go on a trip here recently, and you were telling me about it, and didn't turn out so good.
Dude, it was.
Are we gonna see the footage? Like, are you gonna put it in something?
I don't have any footage.
Oh, for real? You were that like?
Yeah, no, I didn't even film anything. So by the time it got bad enough, and then I started thinking like, I wish we could film this. It was too rough to go get a camera. Like,
yeah, you weren't.
I didn't want to stop the boat. I didn't want to. Nobody else on the boat was like.
Who was with you?
Jack, his friend Carrie, and then my oldest son Kelton. And so none of them were really like, they've kind of driven boats, whatever, in the no wake zone or whatever. But in the situation we were in, I knew that they were not comfortable driving a boat. I was not comfortable at all stopping the boat. And I didn't have, the only camera that I could have grabbed was not waterproof with mics and stuff. And it would have had to been waterproof. And so I didn't film anything. And after we got back, I was like, dude, like that would have been a whole video.
Yeah.
Like just the trek making it back.
That I'm just curious what it would look like, because I know when I've been out, and I've never been in anything, what you had described, but like even when it's rough and I film something, it doesn't translate.
It never looks
like when you're in the boat and you're there, you're like, oh my gosh, this is awful, and then you look at it on camera and you're like,
I know it'd be interesting to see like how it would have looked, but it was interesting. So obviously we'd track a lot of conditions, whatever, before we go fishing, and conditions were supposed to be nice, and wind was supposed to pick up that afternoon. We knew wind was going to pick up, but so we left that morning. We were going to go out wahoo fishing, so we left out, and it was less than a foot. Like we're cruising like 35 miles an hour. We went like 35, 40 miles out. We got out there at like, I don't know, 6:30, 7 o'clock or something. Started trolling. I got new outriggers like actually a while ago now, probably a month or two ago. My buddy gave me some outriggers. First time actually getting to use those. I was like stoked.
Yeah.
I'm like, we've heard a lot of good reports of wahoo. Got these new outriggers I get to try out.
Right.
I'm like,
it's gonna
we got
happen.
the spread of like 6 baits and like perfect stuff. Like everything's
Nice.
good.
Looking good.
So I'm feeling good about it. And I'm like, worst case scenario, we'll just go do some bottom fishing and whatever. And so we get out there, we put baits out. We troll for like 3 hours, and
Nothing.
of course trolling, like you never know. And Kelton gets bored as crap. So it's like every 10 minutes, like, can we go jig? Because I told him, I was like, once we troll, we'll go do some jigging. And because all he wants to do is just something. Like he wants to be actively doing something.
I get it.
And so we trolled for like 3 hours. We're like, all right, whatever. We're just going to go in and bottom fish. At the time, Amberjack was still open. This was just last week, because this was the 30th or 31st. So Amberjack was still open. It was a Thursday, so red snapper was not actually open in Alabama, but triggerfish was still open. There's some grouper species open. Anyway, so we trolled for like 3 hours. So we're going to go bottom fish. And the wind has started to pick up a little bit, but like nothing crazy. Like I still stood up on the gunnels to put the outriggers up. Like it was nothing sketchy or whatever. And so I put it in a spot. It was like 15 miles back home. So I'm like, we're just head back. And so I found a spot that was on the way back home. And so we started going. They laid back in the bean bags, and I'm like driving by myself, listening to music, and then I'm like going a little bit. And I'm like, man, this wind is like really picking up. Because like I said, we were going like 35 miles an hour, knots, whatever, on the way out. Well, going back to that spot, like I could like barely do 20. Like we're just hitting them. I got a 24-foot Key West. It's not a tiny boat, but it's not a big boat by any means.
Sure.
And so I'm going.
What would it have been like with my boat if I'd like buddy out there with you?
I mean, at that point in time, like
been okay.
You would have been fine. It would have not have been fun.
Right.
I mean, your boat's 15 foot.
Yeah.
It's a 9 foot difference. I mean, it would not have been fun. You might not have been in super danger yet, but you would have been going up and down. So I mean, it was probably 2 to 3 footers, like enough to be annoying.
Yeah.
And we were already just like kind of defeated for trolling for 3 hours and
not getting anything.
And so when it started getting like that, I was like if we stop and go drop the trolling motor and we're just getting hit by 3 footers, we're rocking like this, trying to bottom fish. I'm like, ain't no fun in that. So I was like, screw it. Like, we'll just try to go out tomorrow. And so I took off that point in the navigation, and I just put in Perdido Pass to come back into Orange Beach. And it was like 35 miles. Well, no, at that point, it was probably like 30 miles. And so I was like, we're just done fishing. And so we started cruising it a little bit more. And it was like not very long, like 5-10 minutes. And the wind just picked up, the waves picked up. And it was so we had traveled southeast to get to where we were fishing. So to come home was going northwest. Mm-hmm. Well, the wind was straight out of the southeast. So the direction we were traveling, the wind and the waves were literally just pounding us in the side.
Yeah.
And we went a little bit headed towards Orange Beach, and I was like, I don't know that, like how much, like if it gets worse, I don't know that we can keep taking big waves to the side of the boat. And so I told Jack, I was like, I think I'm going to put in Pensacola and see how far that difference is. And it was only like a 2 or 3 mile difference. We're kind of like split in between the two. But I think I'm no like experienced captain by any means. I think a lot of times you try to go with it as much as you can. That way the winds push you. Like if it gets real bad, you at least have wind pushing you in a direction of where you're trying to go.
Where you want to go, yeah.
Like if you lose power or anything. But because it was at northeast, like if I would have gone with it, I mean, I'd end up in like Louisiana or something.
Right.
Or Cuba. I mean,
Yeah.
who knows? So I was like, we don't really have an option to go with it. So I was like, let's just turn into it and we'll slow down and we'll just take every wave. And so we put in Pensacola, and it just got worse and worse and worse. And we headed right into it, and it was, I want to say it was every bit of 6-7 footers.
Yeah.
There had to have been some 8 footers. Like it could have been a little more, it could have been a little less. I don't know. I mean, I've never been. It was the roughest that I've ever been.
This is the
on.
worst you've seen.
So I did go offshore in this tournament like a few weeks ago, and it was pretty nasty out there.
But you're in a.
But I was in a 60-foot boat, so it's hard to compare what the differences were. It felt, and like just looking at the waves, it seemed like I was in rougher in my boat than I was in that tournament in that other boat. And I have my 7-year-old sitting in the back on a beanbag, because every time we hit the wave, we never actually took waves like crashing over the boat. But we're hitting them, and we're literally like nose pointed straight at the sky and then just slamming down.
Oh my gosh.
And so every time we hit, they're crashing over and spread, like we're completely drenched. And so Kelton's laying back there like just miserable, trying not to get wet.
That sounds
Of course, I'm wearing my sunglasses, trying to keep the water out of my eyes so I can see.
Yeah.
So every time we're getting splashed, I'm having to take my sunglasses off, wipe my face, put my glasses back on. It was the first time where I was like, all right, so life jackets are up here. Like if something happens, because we're like 30-ish miles when it starts to get real bad, 30 miles from getting back in. And we're going, it says 10 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So that's like 3 hours.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, if this gets any worse, like I feel okay with where we're at right now, but if it gets any worse, I don't know what's gonna happen.
So, but did anybody get sick?
No, nobody got sick.
What? And you were saying like y'all were pretty quiet.
Yeah.
So nobody said anything. I mean,
Not really. So I looked at Jack, and Jack was like, "I'm just ready to see condos," and I'm like, I mean, condos sound cool, but you can start seeing condos like 20 miles offshore.
oh, for real? Is that
Yeah.
far? I don't know.
So I'm like, 20 miles. Doesn't matter if we see a condo. If something happens, seeing the condo doesn't do us any good.
Right.
Like,
Still
we're
can't swim that
a
far.
long ways away from anything.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that had to be. Yeah, that couldn't have felt good. to be in that
like
situation.
my left hand. So I'm driving. I'm on the left side of the console. I'm squeezing on the handlebar, the T-top, whatever, so hard. Like my hands are cramping from holding on. I feel like I'm like denting the freaking T-top. And like I kept looking back at Kelton, and he's just like
So what's the takeaways from this? Like, what'd you learn? Like, what? How can you prevent it? How can you be more prepared? Like,
so
what do you think?
I don't know if there's really anything you can do to prevent it. So we knew the wind was going to pick up. I did find out, talking with Brant, anytime it is supposed to switch out of the northeast is generally when it's going to get the nastiest, which is interesting. Because, I mean, you a lot of times think southeast things get bad, which I mean, they can too.
Right.
But northeast, he was like, never trust the northeast wind. And so now I'll pay a little more attention to
The direction.
if it's coming out of the northeast. I guess probably the only thing we could have done any different on that was like when it started to pick up a little bit, we could have ran in a little bit sooner. I mean, we still would have got stuck in it, but
Yeah.
the biggest thing I'll take away from it now is like finding out how unprepared I really was.
Like thinking through your.
Like if shit hit the fan and we got capsized, or because the biggest thing was like, okay, I feel comfortable with what my boat's doing, but like, what if I lose power right now?
Yeah.
Like, what if I lose a motor or I lose steering? Like, there's so many things that can happen that are out of my control. I mean, because it's a motor. I mean,
yeah, if you get
it's like a car breaks down on the interstate. Like, if it breaks down,
Right.
but I'm in this,
yeah,
like we would have been screwed.
because if you drop down to one motor, like you can't go fast at all.
No,
like
I mean, we weren't going fast anyways.
well, right, but like still,
One motor. I don't really know for sure because I've never been in the situation. We may have still been able to do something with just one. But my thoughts were like, if we lose complete power, or if we lose steering or whatever, and I got one of the bags that hang from your T-top, and so that's where like all my life jackets are and stuff. And of course, Kelton has his on. But I'm like, if the boat flips right now, like, we were borderline. We probably should have just put them on.
yeah,
But we were also in a position where it's like, I don't want to freak them out any more than they're already freaked out. And I don't want them to freak me out by telling me how scared they are. So
Yeah.
it's like a weird situation of like,
nobody's saying anything.
I'm not scared, you're not scared, but we're all really scared.
We're all good. We're all good.
And so like we probably should have put our life jackets on.
Yeah.
Another thing I didn't really think about in the time, but talking with people after, like I have the kill switch, which you have to wear like when you're in the no wake zone or whatever. You should wear it all the time.
Right.
I should have put that on because
The kill switch?
Yeah.
You didn't have it on?
no,
Oh,
I
dude.
don't ever wear it.
Dude, you got to wear the kill switch, especially
like-
like that.
As rough as it was, if I would have got thrown out of the boat, like
Yeah.
I should have been wearing that. I also I have the Garmin satellite device, which was hooked onto my backpack, which was sitting like up on the bow. That Garmin should always be like, if it's not attached to me, I should be able to get it pretty dang quickly.
Yeah.
Because the only way that's going to be beneficial, like it's great when it's offshore and it's nice and I text my wife from my phone, but if we flip out of the boat or the boat capsizes and I don't have my phone, like it doesn't do me any good if it's over there and I got to swim to it.
Yeah.
So I need to be more cautious, or is cautious the word? more. I need to know where that thing needs to be close to me, if not attached to me. Probably just needs to be attached to me. I also need more safety equipment. They have I thought it was ACR, but maybe it's ACR. We were talking to Mark earlier, but there's a lot of different EPIRBs, and there's a million different things that you can have that safety equipment. And it's like, you never really think like, I want to go spend $1,000 on this thing, but if the boat would have capsized, like,
it would have come in handy.
I'd spend $1,000 on it if it's going to get the Coast Guard coming after us. So
yeah,
there's a lot of things that I need to that I've been thinking about of like, I gotta get this stuff in check.
So like, all right, worst case scenario, you're out there in the situation you were just in. Had you capsized with your bag up here, your life jackets where they were, not on, like, you know, something happens and it happens so fast, there's no time to really react, but it just capsizes and boom, y'all are in the water. What happens at that point, you think?
So
with the situation that you're in?
The one benefit I do have with my boat is it is a foam-filled boat. So my boat is not going to completely sink. It's going to capsize, it's going to sit upside down, but it's going to float.
But as rough as it is, and probably like current and wind, like,
I mean, there's no telling where it's going to go.
right? But do you think like y'all would have been able to get to it? Is what I'm saying. I mean,
I don't know.
like you're gonna get separated.
And that's the thing that started.
Did
like,
Kelton have his life jacket on?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, because he has to.
Yeah, I don't let. Well, he has taken it off on days where it's like nice offshore, and I'm like, you can
Well, I mean,
take it off a little bit.
well, as long as you're not motoring.
Yeah, so that's not the actual law. In Alabama, it may be the same in Florida and other places too, but if you're on the boat, you have anybody under 13 has to have it on.
Even if it's not.
They even said, so my buddy got pulled over with that. They had the trolling motor down and they were fishing and the boat was not moving. And he got stopped and they told him, they didn't give him a ticket, but they said his son should have had it. They said, even if you're at the island, like if you're anchored up at maybe not pulled up on the island, but you know, people like anchor off. He said, technically,
if you're on the boat,
anybody under 13 has to have it on.
Interesting. I mean, it's a good rule.
It is a good rule.
We usually, like, up until probably the last couple of weeks, we keep it on at least the whole time, even though, but like we have let it got hot. And, you know, she's like all red faced and everything. And we're stopped. And I'm like, yeah, you can take it off.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like.
So Kelton, I've let him take it off offshore. Like if it's nice offshore and we're fishing, like if it's not rough, whatever, he knows how to swim. Knox, obviously, if we're pulled up at the island, Knox takes it off and he swims without it. But yeah, no, Kelton probably needs to keep it on like at all times. And it's not like Knox wants to go off. Well, he says he wants to go offshore. I don't think he really does. He would get bored out there. But Kelton, thankfully, Kelton didn't fully understand what could have happened and how bad the situation could have been. And so the only
Did he
time,
have fun? Like, was he like thinking it was fun, like jumping the waves and stuff? Like, or was he freaked out?
I don't think he thought it was fun. Because when we got back in, he goes, I wish I would have stayed home today. But so he yelled at me a couple times when we were going, and he was like, Dad. And I turned around, he's just like blocking all the water. And he was like, can I come up there? And I was like, no.
Yeah, stay in the
I don't want you. I don't even.
Yeah.
Not that, like, he would have been fine if he was standing next to me. I just didn't want that, like, few seconds of him standing up trying to move.
Yeah.
Because the waves were hitting us so many, like, it was different directions. It wasn't consistent. Some were bigger than others. And it was just like, I didn't want him to move.
Yeah.
Like, stay there.
If you had lost power, do you think that, like, do you think it would have capsized, or do you think you would have just got pushed around? I mean,
it's hard to say. So none of the waves, at least as we hit them, it wasn't necessarily like big breakers. It was just huge swells.
Okay.
But they had to have broke at some point. So if we would have got in a situation, like I would have had to still steer the boat, and I would have had to just put us with it, and we'd have just gone wherever we ended up. Because there's no way I could have pushed into it without power. So I would have just had to try to control the boat and just like taking them from behind and like rode with it.
Just take
And
it.
that's what it would have felt like.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Just take it.
because like it's there was waves where when we would come down and we're in between, the next wave was taller than us.
Oh wow.
And so I
that's
don't
sketchy.
know, had we lost power, I don't know how we could have finagled. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a situation I've never been in, so
Yeah.
I don't really know.
I mean,
how.
I'm just trying to think through all the scenarios, and like you were there, I wasn't there. So I'm just curious,
Yeah.
kind of what that would look like.
I wish I had the video, man.
Yeah.
Once we got back in, I was like, dang it.
So
It was
wait,
like
is it,
prime
now
video
you,
opportunity.
you said it for. So did you go into Pensacola?
Yeah.
But you launched from
Orange Beach.
So what'd you do? Like Uber to your truck or something to?
No, we just took the ICW.
Oh, okay.
We came in Pensacola Pass and then took the intercoastal back to Orange Beach.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't.
And I called, Buddy actually was calling me as we were coming in Pensacola Pass, and I didn't answer. And as soon as we got in, I texted him. I said, "Are you home?" He said, "Yes." I said, "I need a beer. I'm coming by your house."
Yeah.
It was so sure you're not supposed to drink when you're out fishing, you're driving a boat, whatever. It was one of the rare trips where we didn't take any beer or anything. So nobody was drinking on the trip, which thankfully was a good thing.
Yeah. Because you needed to be like 100% alert. Yeah.
I don't want to. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to like get myself in trouble, but it was good that we weren't drinking before the weather got bad.
Yeah. No, for sure.
So I'm glad that.
So
didn't
did y'all
happen.
go chill at Buddy Nicky's house for a minute and like
Yeah, so I pulled up to their
take a
house
breath and be like,
Jack
"Hey."
doesn't even drink anymore. He's
Like at all?
Jack's,
That's
well,
good.
he said they had a drink on their wedding anniversary, but Jack's done good.
That's what I needed to do.
But my nerve, like when staring at the screen and like not knowing what is gonna happen or how if it's gonna get worse, and staring at my screen and it's like you're 2 hours from home. You're 2 hours from home.
Not
You
moving.
feel like you're going because time feels like it's literally standing still, and it's like you're still 2 hours from home. Like my nerves were shot.
Yeah. I would
It
imagine.
was.
Yeah, I would have hated
It was
that.
just like it was a terrible experience. I'm glad I went through it now. Like obviously now that
because it
everything
made
went,
you think and like you'd be better
yes, I
prepared.
will be way
Yeah.
more prepared
Yeah.
next time that we're in. If we get in a situation like that,
Yeah.
I will be more prepared.
Yeah.
But I was very nervous.
Well, I'm glad y'all made it back.
Said a lot of prayers.
Yeah, because you texted me like the day it happened. You're like, I got a great topic for the podcast. Like, yeah, we got our asses handed to us offshore. But I'm glad you made it back.
It was brutal. There was the same day there was a 28-foot World Cat that capsized outside of Dauphin Island.
So now you were. That's not the shrimper, right?
No.
This was somebody else. Yeah. So what happened there? I didn't know about this one.
So they just got caught in the same stuff coming home. So I actually talked to a guy that had fished with them the night before out at Appomattox, one of the oil rigs. He saw the boat there. I don't know exactly how far they were out when they capsized, but they got caught in the same stuff. Capsized the boat. And they had to be rescued by Coast Guard helicopter.
Dang,
4 guys.
man. But they were all okay.
They're all okay.
That's
yeah.
good.
The boat, I'm sure it's not. I talked to a guy last night at Kelton's baseball practice. He was in it, and they were in a 43-foot Freeman.
Dang.
And he said they had the, I don't know what exactly you call it, but the things that go from like the T-top to the gunnels. And so they were being blocked, but he said that was getting splashed. He said they were only able to go like 20-something miles an hour, which in a 43-foot boat,
Right.
you're only going 20.
Yeah. They
So
probably
even
weren't.
they were getting beat
They
up.
probably
and
weren't quite as nervous as you were.
Not quite as nervous, but it was
Yeah.
like hearing these stories from other boats. I'm like, it could have been bad.
So how high were the winds? Do you know like how fast it was blowing?
I don't know for sure, but so the forecast said it was going to be like 12, 15, and it was not 12,
Yeah.
15. I
Yeah.
mean, it was blowing.
Right. I mean that's the thing about offshore, man. It just you don't ever know. I mean, obviously you look at the forecast, but you don't know until you get out there.
Yeah.
And you can be dealt anything.
That's like when we were trolling, I was looking at other spots that were like further out. 'Cause, I mean, it was nice. We were only 35, 40 miles out. I'm like, I've taken my boat 100 miles offshore.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, maybe we run out another 20 miles, whatever, get to some other spots. But thank God we didn't. 'Cause I mean, literally would have been 2 more hours of battling that.
Yeah. That'd been awful.
And again, not obviously the boat was fine. And it does give me confidence that if I do get stuck on something, assuming you don't lose power,
Right.
which
Your
if that
boat-
happens, like you can't, it doesn't matter what boat you're in.
Right.
If you lose power, you're
screwed.
You're screwed. But it did give me a lot of confidence in what my boat can handle.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was an experience.
Yeah. Well, hey, cheers. You're alive.
Cheers.
You made it back.
We're alive.
Yeah.
Cheers to you, sir.
Yeah, cheers to you. Probably won't be your last story. You keep running offshore. You know, stuff's gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm still gonna go. Like,
Oh yeah.
it's definitely changed. Like, because I was supposed to. So that was last Thursday.
You still got your life insurance, right?
Still got life insurance.
Okay, good.
That's all that really matters.
Yeah.
And back to Kelton. Kelton does still like going offshore, and I'll still take him out like snapper fishing and stuff. But Kelton's gonna have a break on going out too far because had something bad happen, I don't want to have to deal with like that
Yeah.
situation,
Right.
of like trying to save him, save me, save whatever. Like,
Yeah.
it's one thing if I got to try to figure out how to get on top of a boat or go grab a backpack, but
To have to.
I'm not going to be able to do. If you got to worry about a 7-year-old, there's no way you can properly survive how you need to in a situation like that. I mean,
Right.
sure. I mean, you got to figure out and do whatever you got to do, but
Right.
I don't want to be in a situation where I got to
No.
think about what to do next.
Right.
Obviously,
that'd be
I
tough.
know what my first decision
Well,
is.
oh yeah. Well, you're
Save
right.
my kid no matter what.
Yeah.
But
it would definitely make it harder. Yeah.
like if we're, because that
'Cause
was,
you're
that was
gonna-
a thought that was running through my head. I was
you're gonna
like,
get
if we
separated.
capsize, and God forbid that too, but like even if we get on top of the boat and we're just sitting there, I'm gonna have a 7-year-old that is crying and freaking the F out.
Yeah.
While I'm freaking out.
Right. Right.
I gotta make sure he thinks he's safe when I don't even feel safe.
Right. When you
I
don't
don't
even
want to
know.
put either one of us in that situation. It'll probably be a little bit till he goes like 40 miles
That's
offshore.
a scary thought. Like if that.
And those were that was the worst. Like obviously now that once we got back and we're safe, and you start thinking about all the things like that was the 3 hours of running through my mind of like, what's gonna happen if we flip over?
I know.
And me and my 7-year-old
Or-
floating out at sea.
Yeah, sitting on top of a boat at 30 miles.
And once
30
you
miles
get
off.
that thought in your head, like
Yeah.
you can't remove the thought.
Right. Yeah, that'd be tough, man. Yeah, I with my little boat, I will not be going that far out ever. But and we obviously like even if bouncing out off the beach, it can pick up and get rough, but like I feel comfortable. Like okay, I'm like a mile from the beach,
Right.
like whatever.
Worst case scenario, like
I could swim in.
you could swim or you could drift.
Yeah.
Like
I'm
somebody
in
can
pretty
find
good
you,
physical
like,
condition. I feel confident, like I can make my way back. I mean, obviously,
and
if
once
it's
you get that close, and that's what we started thinking about too, or I started thinking about like, so we were still going into it, which was still going. We were heading northeast, and so we actually passed Pensacola Pass, and then had to turn back into it. And thankfully, once we were like 7-8 miles out, it got like it wasn't comfortable, but it was like okay, we're fine. Like
was it still rough?
it was still rough, but it was like 3s and 4s. Maybe.
Oh, okay. Were you able to run faster and all that?
We picked up a little bit. We got to like 15.
Okay.
But we were just like, I was thankful that I knew that we were fine. And I was like, I don't even care how long it takes us to get in. I didn't want to get beat up anymore.
Yeah.
And we weren't
Yeah, 'cause
taking,
even if
we
you-
weren't slamming and taking water
Yeah.
over anymore. And so we were like kind of drying out. So I'm like, we're just going to cruise on in. It's still like, it's not fun, but it's like, I don't feel in danger anymore.
Right.
And so we just
And
cruised
somebody
in.
come
but-
get you. It's not like
Yeah.
eat a lot. You're not far.
Well, once we got into that situation, like I wasn't even really worried about anything bad happening.
Yeah.
It was just annoying at that point.
Right.
But like you were saying, if you're only a mile or two off the beach, like if something bad happens, obviously unless you lose power, but you could, you can always just point the boat at the beach and just beach the
Beach
thing
it.
and jump off. Like
Right.
worst case scenario, we'll just beach the boat and screw the boat.
Yeah.
And whatever.
Yeah, if it's that bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting experience.
Yeah, man. Well, that's fishing. That's offshore fishing.
Yeah.
Weather. Dangerous.
Makes me want a bigger boat.
Yeah, I bet
But-
it does.
I can't afford that.
Yeah. Well, you got a nice boat, man. I think you'll be good. Think you'll be solid. So you went snapper fishing today.
We did.
How far
We
off you
did. We didn't even go out the pass.
Oh yeah.
We went to Pensacola.
Oh no.
So-
You fished in the past at Pensacola? Okay, nice. Who'd
So
you go-
Alabama, Alabama's only open Friday and a Monday. So it wasn't
Oh, is
even
that
open.
right? It's not all the time Friday night.
So it wasn't even open in Alabama today. But yeah, we fished inside the pass. 66 foot of water.
I know. It's so
Didn't
crazy.
even go outside the pass.
What was the biggest one you landed?
The biggest one was like 28 inches.
That's a good fish. That's crazy, man. That just right there.
And we got destroyed
Nice.
by a couple snapper.
Really? Like couldn't even
Couldn't
Man.
even turn them.
really.
That fish, we ended up switching to 100-pound leader, lockdown drag.
Were there a lot of boats out there?
There was like 5 or 6. Nothing crazy.
What's up, man? Like it seems like they should be.
I know. I'm like, why are y'all not
all
here?
over. That'll get cleaned out though.
Yeah,
I mean, there'll still be some.
that was old Brant's honey hole.
Yeah, it'll be harder to find those.
Yeah.
Who all did you go with?
Me and Chris and his son Dominic.
Oh, okay. Kelton was he?
Kelton and Knox are in. They're doing vacation Bible school this week
Oh, okay.
at one of the local churches.
Nice. All right. So
And
was Kelton upset? He was like, dang.
He wanted to go. I didn't even ask. Like, I didn't give him the option because they really enjoyed VBS yesterday,
Yeah.
and he didn't know I was going fishing until this morning when I went and loaded the boat up.
He's like, what
So
are you doing,
I
Dad?
didn't really even give him the option because Courtney would have got a break if he would have came fish for me, but he needs that time. And VBS is really good. Like
Yeah.
I grew up going to VBS.
Oh yeah, no, it's a good thing.
And so I want them to do that. He had fun with it.
Yeah.
And so he's doing that all week.
Sweet. Nice.
Going back out again tomorrow. I've
So
heard
you go doing the same thing, or
yeah, well, so they've been catching some kings out there outside the pass around
Okay.
those the buoys and stuff. So
in
I'm gonna-
Pensacola.
So I'm gonna try to go troll around and see if I can get some kings, and then I'm taking Adam's dad is gonna go too.
You want
And
to catch
so
some snapper?
hopefully we'll go catch a few kings and then we'll snapper fish again.
Was it rough in the past today?
It was.
It gets pretty like washing machine-y in
Yeah,
there.
it was. I mean, it was nothing crazy. It like your boat wouldn't have been fun.
Yeah.
So, but what you can do is the spot that we've done it from the beach with
Yeah.
Tony.
Yeah.
Your boat 100% could
Could've
go
gone
over
over
there.
there,
You could
protected.
fish on because it was a south wind. You could fish the north side of Pickens in your boat. You'd be perfectly fine.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know exactly where that spot is.
I was gonna text you yesterday and asked if you wanted to do that, but again with the wind, like
Yeah.
where we were today, in your boat would have been
Where'd you launch? Did you launch at
in Rarity Point,
okay.
like by Buddy and Nikki's.
Yeah, okay.
But tomorrow, if we don't catch kings, it's going to basically be the same video. However, Adam's dad is retired Navy, so he can get us on the Navy base.
Oh,
And so we're
nice.
launching at the Navy boat ramp.
Okay. Is that on the other
So,
side of the bridge?
I don't know where it is. It's
So-
at the end of Blue Angels Parkway, is what he said. It's like
Oh,
you go
okay.
down Sorrento, you turn right on Blue Angels,
Okay.
and it's somewhere down there.
All right. So
I've
you
never
should
been
be
there.
closer.
Oh, he said it's like right by the pass.
Nice.
But even if I have basically make the same snapper video, like
It's okay.
I'm gonna clickbait it with some Navy stuff.
That's right.
'Cause I'm gonna be driving on the Navy base.
That's
and-
pretty sweet, man. That'd be cool.
So we'll see.
Yeah. Nice. Sounds like
Should
a
at
good
least be
time.
able to get some snapper.
Yeah. What were you catching them on? What bait?
Cigar minnows.
Just frozen.
Yeah.
Dead. Nice. Did you get them from here, or
Yeah.
did you have some?
One of the pack. No. So one was Jordan bought some last week when we were going. He got the killer bees. So, the 24-hour place, the live bait place.
Oh yeah, they sell that.
So they have a freezer too, and so they sell them, but they just have killer bees, which they were like. Nothing
Nasty.
against the 24-hour place.
Yeah,
but
but
killer bees,
but
bait
killer
in
bees,
general,
yeah.
It's just like, they were mush.
Oh, do we probably sell some killer bee stuff? Do we? I don't know. Do we?
Maybe.
don't know that
We
I've
don't
seen
sell
it.
Killer Bee cigar minnows, though. We have good.
Yeah, we get it's the box, whatever
Yeah.
that box is.
Yeah.
I've got some cigar. I wonder if I would imagine they're still good. I caught some and I kept them. I got a whole gallon sized bag of them that I caught off of Okaloosa. Like it's been a long time though, but they've been in my freezer.
I'm
They
sure
should
they're
still be fine, right?
Yeah.
Caught them fresh, froze them immediately. Like,
Yeah, I'm sure they're fine.
yeah. I was gonna use those whenever I get a chance to go out.
Yeah, you should go. Saturday does look nice if you want to fish
It's gonna be
over this way.
busy though.
It is gonna be busy.
I mean, that's
That's why I was like, once Florida opened, I'm like, screw fishing Alabama on the weekends. I'll just go fish Florida in the middle
I
of the
know.
week.
It's just, especially launching at a boat ramp and stuff when it's on the weekends. Like,
Yeah. Well, we didn't get to the boat ramp today until like, I mean, we got a late start. It was like 8:30,
yeah,
and there was like,
nobody there.
I don't know, 6, 7 other boats. Or
What's
trucks.
the wind
Like, we're
supposed to be
the only
like
boat.
tomorrow? It's supposed to be
It's still supposed to be decent. It's still out of the south. I don't know if you want to go like fish in the pass again. I think will be a little brutal, but
well. Courtney was thinking about going with me Thursday. I wonder what the weather looks like on Thursday.
it's showing 10 out of the south tomorrow, 10, 11.
That can
Thursday, about the
be.
same.
Yeah,
Friday is when it dies down, 6.
of course.
Saturday switches out of the north, but then turns out of the northeast. So be careful.
Careful. Well, I won't be going offshore.
Don't go offshore
I'm
Saturday.
not going offshore.
If it shifts from the north to the, because that is exactly what happened. We had a north wind Wednesday night, and it flattened everything out, and the ride out was nice, and then it shifted out of the northeast, and
Got bad.
yeah,
No good.
no bueno.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what I'll do.
But you're also welcome to go with me anytime if you don't want to take your boat out
Yeah.
and stuff. Which I mean, it's
I need to go.
it's snapper. It's
Right.
nothing special.
I do want to get Courtney on some, and I do want to do it in my boat. Like I think it'd be fun just to get
Yeah.
on a little boat. But
Yeah, if we ever get the conditions for it, which
I don't have
by
any.
the time we get it, 3 mile barge is probably going to be
the
freaking wiped out at that point.
yeah, it's probably already wiped out. People hammer that.
Did you see the one? Do you know?
Yeah, I saw you shared that. Yeah, he's not big fans of us.
This, I talked to him like
Oh yeah, I mean
All the
he's
time.
he's made some public announcements. I don't know that we should put all this on the podcast, but
about me
no,
or
but
just YouTubers.
yeah. Well, he's made some shots at me anyway.
Really?
Yeah, which I've never even met him. I don't know the guy.
So, I don't know that I've actually met him. I've never like shook his hand. First time I actually talked to him, I was fishing on one of the jetties off that island, and he was on his boat fishing there. He's like, "Oh, hey, Beardy Brad, what's up, man?" And I talked to him for a minute. I didn't even know who he was at the time, and then we were friends on Facebook. But now, I mean, I got his number. I talked to him today. He sent me that picture of that big snapper. We've talked about doing a thing where like, cause we all get asked all the time, like for people to fish with us. And so I'm like, what about a way where people can book a charter with an actual captain and then pay me extra? So it's like, I know the captain that's going. I also get paid and then they get to fish with me, but I don't have to do anything because we're with a charter.
Oh, like you go on the charter.
So they book a charter with him,
I gotcha.
pay extra for me to go too.
Right.
So I make money, he makes money.
You don't have
It's
to do the
not-
work.
There's nothing sketchy
Right,
because
yeah, yeah.
I'm on a boat with somebody I know.
Right. He's just charging more for the experience.
Right.
Yeah.
And so they get the experience, they get to fish with me, but I'm not like taking a random person on my boat. So that may be something we do. I've been talking with him.
Not a
about
bad idea.
I've also thought about getting my captain's license, honestly.
Well, yeah. Come on in. Yeah.
do you need?
You're good. We're low key. You're good.
This is Callie. She officially made it on our podcast.
Yeah. Congratulations. What is that?
Lead.
Waits for Buddy.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Is he going fishing?
See.
Bye. Oh, man.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know how much of that we can. I may just block out the name, I guess. So we're not.
Yeah, I don't care,
saying his
whatever
name.
you
I
wanna
mean, he may be a cool dude. He's made some shots on social media.
Sorry. Now you got to
Now I
that
have to edit something out. Thank you, Brad.
just for you.
Yeah. Well, I already would. I'd have to. Where are we at? I
We're
mean,
at 47.
which
I'll
45
text
ish
you.
or 48. 48. We'd started at like 2:30. So we'll take it out, or a portion of it anyway. You know, you don't ever know. That's the thing about it. Like we get people that don't like us, but then they're nice to your face, and you know, it's kind of a weird situation. And you know what? This is something else. I think this is something else that's kind of got me in a funk too, because YouTube views for me suck right now. Like which obviously like that's always depressing when you're like putting it in effort, and it's like, okay, this sucks. So and I get comments like when my views go down, like I don't get a lot, but I get comments on my channel from people that are like that notice, and I don't know who they. I mean, I assume they're just subscribers, but like that notice when my views are low, and they'll make it's not many, it's not like a lot of people,
right?
But like, oh yeah, and they obviously they'll reference other YouTubers, you know, like this is. And basically saying,
like taking shots at you for it.
Yeah, like that. Like you suck now, so your views are low. Like you can't put out a good video. But here's my point to it. Like it just not that I get many of those comments, but
I don't really read a whole lot of my comments anymore.
I mean, I see every comment. You know, I don't reply to them. Well, I say that I see most every comment on YouTube, not on Facebook. I don't see any of that crap, but on YouTube I'll see it. But it just proves, and I know there's more people, just whether or not they comment, that are you're in the public eye, like you know, you're kind of pulling your skirt down a little bit. You know, here I am,
right.
You know, putting yourself out there when you do this stuff. So I mean, we're asking for it, but like there are plenty of people that are sitting there just waiting for you to not succeed.
Yeah.
And they're just ready to pounce on that.
Which
like,
is
and it's just it's a hard position
mind-blowing
to be in, to like have to try to prove, because you like your human desire, like obviously whatever, like whoever makes those comments, they're losers. Like they ain't doing what I'm doing, and they're nowhere close. So like I don't take it to heart that way, but it is like you want to prove them wrong, but in that moment it's like this dude's right. You know, like I am getting crap views. You know, like but there's what you don't know is like you don't see my analytics. You know, like you guys like
right.
There's literally for what I'm getting, there's nothing else. Like it is outside of my control. Like
right.
I can perform, I can do what YouTube says. Hey, this is what you need to do to get a video promoted, regardless of whether I hit those metrics. It doesn't mean it's going to get promoted. Like that's not how it works. So like I may be doing a good job at whatever I need to be doing, but it doesn't mean it's still going to work. Anyway, that just kind of when you're like proving the haters right for a moment, whether it's in your control or not. Sucks. And you just have this audience of people waiting for that to happen.
And you know, it's tough because like it's so hard. Like the worst thing as humans, not just in YouTube, but in life in general, the worst things we can do to ourselves is compare ourselves to others. But we all do it, especially as men. And I mean, I'm sure women do it all the time too.
Oh yeah, they're probably worse than us.
They probably are worse than us because they worry about a lot more,
but it's more superficial,
self-control kind of. They worry about a lot. They worry about different things what us as men worry about. But the worst thing we can do is compare ourselves to others. However, just like what you're saying with somebody comparing you to somebody else, like sure, there are the channels that are kind of outliers that maybe get. You look at subscriber to view ratio, they have like a really good one. But if you look at your channel, my channel, Branch channel, whatever, any of us, compared to there's plenty of other channels. Like if you look at that ratio, like we're still doing good.
Right.
Like if you break it down that way, like yes, it's easy for us to be super critical of ourselves,
right?
And the views we're getting, but there's plenty of other people that would die or give anything to do to get the views we're getting.
Of course.
And there's also people that, I mean, take even Deer Meat for Dinner. So he's got 2, 3, 4 million subscribers, whatever it is.
And his views aren't.
And if you get 100,000 views and upload, like you're like, holy crap, you're getting 100, 200,000. But I mean, you're not even getting 10% of your subscriber base. So it's, I would love to have 100,000 views and upload.
Yes,
absolutely,
like guaranteed. I mean, like guaranteed. You know,
but I don't have 2, 3 million subscribers that are potentially viewing a video that I post. So it's every channel is different, and yes, YouTube does some weird things that don't make sense at times, and it's
Yeah.
definitely frustrating.
I go through these cycles regularly, and I feel like the three of us do, and probably most. I would assume most YouTubers do. There's some that seem to transcend that. I don't know why, but like you get in these where there's just nothing you can do. Like every video you put, and it's just so weird because it's like even different styles, and you use different titles and thumbnails, or you may be beach fishing, boat fishing, whatever, and every video is. Your worst video, your worst video, your worst video. It's like you can't. So in those situations, it's either it's going to be your worst video, or you happen to stumble across something epic actually does happen, and you get this video that if I know if I go out and I catch a marlin from the beach, I could probably get a pretty dang banger. You know what I mean? Like that would be a good video even if I'm in this thing. But like that's what it would take. It's either going to be a 1 or a 10. Like there is no. I can't put out a
middle of the road
like a base hit video. It's just either you tank or you're gonna go to the moon. That's my only options right now.
Yeah.
I don't know why you get in these cycles, but
it does get frustrating of kind of how you get in that rut of kind of trying to follow this title thumbnail or this video idea or whatever, and it's a weird position to be in.
You know where I want to be, Brad? You know what would be? I was thinking about this. It just
on an island, drink in my hand, toes in the sand.
I want to be, and this is what we're working towards with everything we got going on. Is I want to be in a position where I'm still making videos, but I don't have to rely on it for the income.
Yeah.
Because I want the videos and my content to point to all the things that I do, and eventually I want, and honestly, it's. Of course, it's a little bit selfish, but I promise you, if I'm in that position, that content is going to be so much better. For you, the people that view my content, like if I am in that position and you want high quality content, that's all you're going to get.
Because in these ruts that we feel like we're in, that's when the content just feels forced, and we're not overly thrilled with what we're doing, and we're just frustrated, and so you're just out there making your rounds or whatever,
and you have to, because we still rely on it for the income.
Yes.
So it's just putting your head down and going to work. At that point, it's not inspired. It's not because you enjoy it. It's I have to do this because it's still how I provide for my family. So trying to build out these things and still create content where I don't have to rely on the income, it will make that content exponentially better.
100%.
Because I will only make inspired content. I'll only make things that I'm excited to actually make content about, and that's all you'll get.
Yeah. We don't really have time to dive into this right now, but I am this close to starting the beard product business.
Are you so? I know you said you can't talk too much about it. I guess.
Well, I mean, I can say whatever. We're just almost an hour.
At the
I'll
end,
tell you whatever.
Are you trying to do it through the
minutes.
store? Do you have
no?
Who where are you? How are you sourcing it? What's the?
Yeah, so 2 years ago, I was doing some sponsorships with this beard brand. And
what was the name of that company?
Copper John's Beard Company.
Okay, yeah.
And so I still follow along with their stuff. And so I've really since then, I've been thinking about doing something with beard products. I use it every day.
Sure.
Obviously, my name is Bearded Brad. I have a lot. So I did a poll.
Have a very large, luscious beard.
I did a poll of my subscribers, and those who answered, 60% of my subscribers, at least who answered, have a beard. Doesn't mean they all use beard products, but most guys who have a beard.
Should.
Nowadays, most guys that have a beard use something.
I don't.
Well, I got something for you too. I actually talked to Matt. I talked to Matt Poole for an hour.
Oh yeah,
he gave me some really good.
Is he helping with the sourcing?
No, but he gave me some good ideas.
Yeah,
which kind of leans over to your
there's some
side
products I need. I do need some help over here.
But so
can you help this? I got a really bad patch.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do my best,
dude. I would love you forever.
But so I've been thinking about it for a while, after doing stuff with them, and I found a few companies that make, because I'm not gonna sit in my kitchen, and I'm not a scientist.
Right.
I don't want to make the stuff.
Yeah.
I just want to find the good stuff and pick scents that I like and that kind of fit with what we do, and then sell it. And so I started doing more research now that I actually have the resources to actually make something happen. So I started doing more research, and I found this guy that he does a lot of consulting in the beard product industry. And one of the guys he recommended or said that he's worked with was the same company that I did a sponsorship with a couple of years ago. And so I reached out to that guy and I was like, hey, so-and-so said y'all work together. And he goes, yes, highly recommend him. Like, great dude. Listen to whatever he tells you, blah, blah, blah. So I paid for my first like actual consultation, paid this dude for an hour, got on a phone call with him. And he was like, you're going to, well, I mean, he says you're going to crush it. No, of course, he's
trying to
he wants
sell.
to tell me a lot of good stuff too. But he gave me a lot of good insights about the industry. He gave me a lot of good contacts. So I've had another call with a company that makes all the stuff. And so basically I can have somebody else make it all. I can pick the scents, do all that kind of stuff. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now is they have literally like 100 different scents. And I don't want to sell 100 cents. So I need to narrow it down. I got to buy some samples. And then I'm going to narrow it down to maybe like 5, 6, 8 something cents. And then go from there.
That's exciting. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
We should sell it in the store if once you go.
Yeah. So I talked to Buddy about it. Like once I got a little more serious, I asked him what he thought about the idea, and he was like, "Are you trying to make $100 million, or are you just trying to go get some extra income?" I'm like, "Well, right now I'm just trying to get some extra income."
I know. I would love to be making $100 million, buddy, but
I know.
we're a little. We got to start somewhere.
I'm like, yes, 100 million. Yeah. But we're gonna start with just a little extra income.
Just need a little extra money right now.
The good thing with the company that I've talked with now is it's pretty hands off for me. Once we kind of get things set up, so I pick the scents and some stuff, and it's like my labels, whatever. But it's basically drop shipping, so they'll do all the fulfillment, the packaging. So I don't have to do any of that part. Once assuming it grows how I would like it to, if I could afford a couple employees, it would be way more profitable to do the fulfillment. Like I can buy it would be the same product, but we would just I'd buy it in bulk and then we would package it, label it, ship it out ourselves. But to start off with, it's speaking of Buddy,
look at Buddy.
It's an extremely the level to entry or whatever. Trying to get into it is very minimal if I use them and kind of go that route. So that'll kind of give me the idea.
You don't have to put a lot of money into it.
Right. So if I was going to do it all myself, I'm like, am I going to sell 100 bottles of beard oil? Am I going to sell 1,000 bottles of beard oil? I'm like,
yeah.
But I also want to do so there's beard oil, beard balm, beard butter. And so those are kind of the three things that most guys that have beards have. And then there's also shampoo and conditioner. There's body wash. There's all these other things.
You gonna sponsor me? Can I get a sponsorship?
Yeah, absolutely.
Get the products, and I'll talk about them.
100%. One thing that I did talk to this dude about, which he thought was a really good idea, which I kind of think I didn't really think about it until as we were talking about it in that consultation. But there's not really a men's sunscreen that like targets men. It was like, you need to use sunscreen. It's all the sunscreen is targeted towards women and children. And men are generally terrible at wearing sunscreen.
Right, we hate it.
Like I hate putting it on. I did finally get a stick that we have that's almost like deodorant, and so I can at least wipe it on my face and my nose. But I hate like the oily and all that. So
sucks. I don't ever wear it.
So through this conversation on the consultation, he's like, if you can find somebody that can do like some men's like badass sunscreen that doesn't make you feel like you're putting on some women's shit and it's not all oily. So that's something I want to work on, but that's separate. But going off on a tangent here.
No, you're good, man. That's some good ideas. I think you do well with it, especially like over time and just getting, like just my experience with the bummy stick and just the branding around that. Like we sell those pretty well. And, but it took time to kind of get it in people's hands and like people believe in it and talk highly about it. You know what I mean? Like it obviously like right out of the gate we'd sell them, but now it's kind of just we sell them, you know, because it's just kind of accepted and but you know, we've been doing it now for the Mommy 6, I don't know, like 3 years or something,
Probably
maybe
so,
more than that. So, you know, which is not that long, honestly. But I think you know, could interject yourself and just become synonymous with like, hey, this is the beard product guy, you know?
That's what I forgot where I was getting at was like, if I want to carry 8, 9, 10 different items, like I don't want to go drop freaking 20 grand on all this stuff, but doing the drop shipping, if I'm only going to sell 10 products, well, I just pay for the 10 products I sell. So it's an easy way to kind of like ease into it and kind of see what the market's going to be like. And I've done a few polls and a lot of people say they're going to buy it, but of course you never know.
Right. But I mean, you'll out of the gate, you'll make sales.
I mean, we'll sell some stuff. I did watch a Alex Hermosi. What's up, dude? I did watch a Hermosi video yesterday or 2 days ago, and he was talking about when he first gets started, like if you can't give it away for free, give it away for as cheap as possible. I may kind of try that approach of like basically giving it away at cost and just try to get as many people as possible to buy it and get reviews. And because something like beard oil, like for me, I use it every day, and so I'm constantly having to buy it. And so if all these people that are going to be using it regularly, if they can get it for really dang cheap than what they're used to paying, and they like the product, and then they give me reviews, and then we jump into like a regular pricing, they will be more likely to stay a customer.
Yeah, if you could just do it.
Because he said it's way easier to like give it for free or for cost and then go up in price, opposed to charging. Like if I'm going to, so let's say for instance, the average price of beard oil is like $18. And if I want to start out at $20, it's hard to like, if people don't buy it, it's hard to come down and go, okay, now come buy it because I lowered it. Like people aren't going to do that. But if you start out at $5, you're like, come buy it at cost. And then people would do it. Then and you tell them like they understand how good of a deal they got.
Yeah, it's like a limited time. Yeah.
Even if I did like only my subscribers get it at this price. Of course, anybody could do whatever.
Right.
And you get a bunch of people to try it and buy it, and then you're like, all right, now here's the normal pricing.
I think
people are more willing to.
I think doing it at cost and getting their email. I think you know, and just building that email list right out the gate, and then now you can market to them, and I think that'd be. You know, if you could do that the first round, basically, like, hey, this is at cost, so you're not out of pocket at least. So you pay the shipping, you pay cost of the product, whatever. It should be a good deal. Yeah, and get it.
Y'all try it. Give us reviews. Yeah, give me your information.
Right. Make sure you get those emails. Yeah. No, I think that'd be a good play.
We'll see. Still got a lot of work to figure out labeling and.
I know all those details that like suck. You know. I hate that crap.
I need a person.
We do need a person.
I'm just not at the point where I need a person. Can't afford it. I need a person, but I can't afford it.
Well, yeah, I know. Well, you know, if we were making the money that we make now, and this were 7-8 years ago,
different.
We could afford a person, but the money that we make now in today's world, 7 or 8 years later, ain't that much money.
If I was making the money now that I was making 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Content.
I know.
Just ebbs and flows.
Well, it's been an interesting podcast. Brad almost died.
I'm here.
But you didn't.
I survived.
Yeah, I'm glad. We had some Woodford on this one.
I was nervous there for a little bit.
It's good.
I never thought I was going to die, but I was not confident that I was going to make it home.
You weren't confident that you were going to be in a sunshine and rainbows situation.
I was nervous.
Yeah, sounds like it. I would be too. Well, hey, thanks for watching the podcast.
Yes.
Listening.
Hope you all enjoyed it.
5 stars, all the things. And
go show Bama Beach Bum some love because he needs some views.
Yeah. Go watch a video or something, man. YouTube.
We all do.
YouTube has put me in the garbage. So I looked at my analytics. So like
my 2-hour videos are saving my life.
Well, mine had been, but like my whole channel is like they just went.
Mine aren't great by any means.
They pulled the plug. Like it's the plug is no longer attached to my channel. But like I looked at one of my last 2 videos. I can't remember which one it was, and it was like returning viewers like 17,000, new viewers 200. So like they're
not showing
zero promotion. Like you know, I was like, wow, you know,
YouTube, what are you doing?
Like so only like literally only the people that just watch every video or watch, like, they are not showing this to anybody. Anyway, so yeah, go watch a video. Help
Brutal.
help a brother out. Anyway, we'll talk to you on the next one.
See you.